So today's a good day. It's a buy a new project car day, and I'm looking at a 1995 Nissan 300ZX. And they made this body style from 1990 to 1996. So this one's right towards the end of the Z32 generation. And this one's a naturally aspirated V6, around 222 horsepower. I've always loved these cars. These were one of those like unattainable sports cars from back when I was in high school, when the Japanese import cars were all the rage. And you know, I've had my eye on them for some time now, and it seems like they're very quickly becoming not cheap. They're kind of already not cheap, actually. So hopefully I can get a good deal on this one. It is in rough shape, so we'll see what we can do. It looks like there's some pretty serious rust around the rear hatch, and I guess like a hole in the hatch itself. Seems like in one picture there's a set of nice black leather seats, and in another picture there's some like brown tan seats, so I'm sure it has the brown tan seats. This one is it's a two-seater, and it is an auto, and it seems like he's offering for an extra $500 another engine and a manual swap kit. I probably won't take the engine, but hopefully I can make a deal for this manual swap kit. All right, I guess we're headed out to Baldwin Park. All right, here she is. And here's that manual transmission. The car does seem pretty straight, and it's very stock, which is really hard to find, actually. It is a bit rougher than I thought. The paint clear coat is pretty toasted, and the interior needs some love for sure. I gotta switch out those brown seats. But man, I just love the lines of these cars, all wide and low, and it does run pretty good. All right, I'm gonna go see what I can do. Can't tell by the smile on my face, I'm the new proud owner of a 1995 300ZX. It's definitely in rough shape, but it actually drives really well. I know these engines are notorious for, you know, breakdowns and for being really hard to work on, so I made sure to pick one that had a good running engine, which was actually really hard to do. And another thing that seemed like it was really hard to find with these cars was one with good panel gaps. I'm not sure why. Maybe people are just you know, taking the fenders and the bumpers on and off and changing them out for, like, you know, whatever ground effects we used to call them, you know, JDM bumpers, all that stuff. This one has particular good, like, you know, panel fitment. Of course, that also means that it probably, or, you know, hopefully wasn't crashed, or at least crashed too bad. When I got my first car when I was 16 in high school, that was exactly in the Fast and the Furious days. So obviously I got a soft spot for all these, you know, Japanese cars. In particular, you know, like the rear wheel drive, kind of like the Japanese muscle car era. And to me, this one was like the most muscle car of them all. You know, it's kind of big and wide, and it's got big tires. It's not light. It's probably around the same weight as my Challenger. So for my first impressions driving this car, you know, it's got some power. It doesn't have a ton of power, and right now I do have the automatic transmission, so it's kind of a little bit slushy, you know, and it kind of shifts when it wants to, and definitely has some, you know, like V6 like 90s power. So as far as the like interior, I mean, obviously the interior's in bad shape, but it has a lot of gadgets, like an auto climate control, which actually I've never had a car, I mean, I guess I've never really had any modern cars, but, you know, some of the more modern cars I've had, you know, like the later 2000s cars, didn't have this. So this is actually kind of a cool feature. I'm sure very rare for 1995. So this isn't actually the first 300ZX I've owned. It's the first, like, newer version of the 300ZX, you know, the 90 to 96. But the older version, which looked more like those, you know, Datsun 280Z, they were kind of more of that shape. I did own one of these earlier 300ZXs. I think it was a 1988. But I do remember that one being very luxurious too. You know, it had like an equalizer, radio, tape deck. It had a lot of fancy things. Of course, that car was very different. That was It was in very, very rough shape. I bought it for $150 and ended up putting off-road tires on it and doing the Gambler 500. And it was pretty cool, actually. I drove that thing to work for like 6 months. But this was a 300ZX that I've always wanted. This the Z32 newer version of the 300Z. So here's everything wrong with my 1995 Nissan 300ZX. So the garage is full of Challenger stuff and it's all taken apart right now. So I thought I'd get some fresh air and I'd come out here and film this thing, but it's a little bit loud out here. Hopefully the sound comes out okay. I've got some like dogs barking in the background or something. I'll do my best. So overall, this car is pretty straight. All of the panel gaps are really good and you know, everything fits really well, but there are some paint problems. So right here on the front bumper, obviously it's got that classic like California clear coat peel. The sun is pretty intense down here, so that happens pretty much to any car. The front bumper is not such a big deal because that bolts on and off, so maybe I can find a new bumper for this. I guess I'd be looking for the same color, so you know, it might take me a while to find that, but otherwise it's in pretty good condition. You know, maybe it's savable. I'll think about that. The T-tops, however, also have that chipping, you know, clear coat problem. And also on this driver's side, like A-pillar here. The T-tops are replaceable, but this part here is not replaceable. As far as I know, I don't think that bolts off. I think it's actually part of the car's body. So I'm gonna have to figure something out here. I don't know if that's like a paint shop can fix that, or maybe I can try my hand at doing a little bit of painting. I'll think about that one. But we also have this top panel here too, same deal. It's actually, you know, part of the car's body. So I'm gonna have to figure out how to either fix, maybe I can save this paint. It kind of looks beyond repair. Maybe repaint it, we'll have to see. Same deal on this part here, more chipping clear coat. And last but not least, the rear bumper, chipping clear coat. But this part, just like the front, does unbolt, so I might be okay with this guy just to replace it. Otherwise, the rest of the body panels are actually, oh, I can see myself there. Otherwise, the rest of the body panels are actually pretty good. You know, there's a little bit of like dull paint there, but I can probably do some sort of like paint correction or something like that. Doors are good, fenders are good, hood is awesome. That was actually one of the main reasons why I picked this one, because the body is so straight, and that's very rare for this car. Somehow it seems like over the years all of them have kind of just lost all of their panel gaps and everything is kind of all wonky and doesn't align, so it's pretty rare to find one in such like a stock, you know, straight condition like this. It's got some weird wheels and tires on this. You know, they don't look terrible, these wheels. The tires are definitely too small though. This car is supposed to have 225, 16 something, 225s in the front and then 225s in the back, or if it's a turbo, 245s in the back. Somebody put on like smaller tires, smaller in width, because these are 205s in the back and these are 205s as well. I guess 205s front and rear. All right, so we have a 215 back here. We have a 205. So it looks like we have, hold on. It looks like we have one 215, we have and then three 205s on the other three corners. That's probably not good for the differential now that I'm thinking about it. I think you're not supposed to have different size tires, you know, with a limited slip differential. So maybe I should actually fix that sooner rather than later. But anyway, these wheels, these are 17s, and you know, they're okay, but I'm not really into the chrome thing. I'll probably go back to stock, and I'll definitely get those 245s in the rear. And then the worst thing of all about this exterior is this rust here around the rear window. Yeah, you can see that got some nice duct tape covering this stuff. Oh yeah, there's a nice hole under there. Yeah, it's I would normally be really worried about something like this, and especially after restoring a an old 70s Mopar that I've definitely traumatized by rust. But in this case, it's just on the rear hatch. I inspected the rest of the car and there's no rust anywhere else. I don't know what happened here. Maybe something was like laying on this rear hatch and just like really contained the water. But this is a California car, so zero rust everywhere else, but just around this rear hatch there is a rust problem, which is a pretty simple fix. As long as I can find another one of these rear hatches, I'm good. I'll just unbolt it and we'll call it a day. So I'm on the lookout for a two-seater 300ZX rear hatch in black, so let me know if you got one. Hopefully I'll find something. All right, that's it for the exterior, so let's move on to the inside of the car. So the inside is mostly put together. The interior isn't really missing a lot, but it kind of just seems like a little bit of everything is broken in here. Let's check out the cargo area. So as per usual, the struts on this rear hatch are, I guess, not blown out enough to let it fall, but not strong enough to even pop open the thing, so I'll have to get new struts for those. Back here's not too bad, you know, the carpet's good. I think we have all of the got all of the original jack. Got the spare tire. We do have this, what I'm assuming is a probably pretty rare item here, this cargo, you know, cover thing, whatever, which seems like in decent shape. And this like headliner sort of trim piece, it kind of looks like it's part of the headliner, but actually when you get up under here, you'll see it's its own sort of trim piece right here. That thing seems like it got toasted by the sun as well. So I'll have to reupholster that, or maybe I can find a new one. So obviously the thing that jumps out at you first are these tan cloth seats here. I guess somebody ditched the black leather seats and replaced them with these beauties here. They're actually in fairly good condition, but I'm gonna try and find some of those like black leather seats that come with this car. I'm sure I'm not the only one looking for the black leather seats, so I think they're probably gonna set me back quite a bit, but you know, maybe it's something I can like reupholster. I did reupholster the rear seats in the Challenger myself, so maybe they sell a kit or something like that, and I can turn these black, but I think the easiest thing is probably just to find a nice set of seats to replace these guys. The shifter's kind of torn up, but not a big deal because I'm going to replace that with the stick shift anyway, so I guess I don't have to worry about that one. The steering wheel's a little bit worn out, so I guess I'm on the lookout for a new one of those. Or maybe I can try and redo the leather on here. Everything pretty much works on the dashboard, all the gauges. Here, let's turn this thing on. All the gauges are good, no weird lights or anything like that. The only problem here on the sort of dashboard is this turn signal. It's a little bit floppy and kind of doesn't work, but the guy did include a new one with the car, so I'll just swap that guy out. And actually he included another one of these things as well. Oh, I guess it's a little bit loose. You know, come to think of it, it's like everything is a little bit, like this thing is just kind of hanging on there. Not sure why that's loose. This thing's a little bit loose. Kind of feels like somebody took apart this interior and then put it all back together like really quickly. I guess as I go and replace these parts, I'll just make sure everything is like tightened down and there's no like broken tabs or anything like that. This radio bezel here is just completely broken off, and these vents are kind of hanging on for dear life here, but I have a plan for this. I think I'm gonna try and get some sort of like a big like radio screen so I can have a backup camera and something like a little bit more modern. I am missing that little door. Now we got like a rogue wire here. Who knows what that goes to? Oh boy. Yikes. Okay, got a little bit of wiring to double check, make sure everything's okay. I suppose that's probably like the security system or something like that. And we're missing this little fuse block door, but hopefully I can find one of those. Console's good. Got this kind of like makeshift charger here. Oh, I guess it's the charger has fallen down into the console. All right, so I guess we'll need a new console, or at least this like little plate here area. And there are a few little like cracks on things like the dashboard, you know, this sort of top thing here, and on the passenger side airbag, so I'll be on the lookout for new ones of those. The door panels are kind of, they seem like they're in good condition, but I don't know what happened with this like sort of wrinkling on the corners. And I'm missing these little, I guess like trim pieces for the vents here. Not sure where these guys went. Both sides are missing, so I guess I'll have to look out for those. I guess a little crack right here. Okay, I think that's it. I guess that's quite a bit of stuff, but it's a lot of little like odds and ends, broken trim pieces and that type of thing. But so let's check out the engine. And luckily there's not much to show there because the car runs pretty good. It's not really missing anything. Mechanically it's pretty sound. There are a few things I'll show you. All right, behold the mighty V6 naturally aspirated 3.0 liter. Yeah, I think I'm missing, like, there's a cover I think that goes on this, like a cool V6 or whatever, I don't know. I'll have to look at photos, but I think I'm missing something here. Or I don't know, maybe people are used to pulling off the intake manifold so often that they leave that thing on there. But one thing he told me was that the cruise control stopped working and he just removed it. So I think there's supposed to be something connected here that runs a cable, and I don't know, there's something missing here. So I'm gonna have to figure out what's missing from the cruise control and fix that. I guess that's pretty much it. All right, well, I'm excited. I get to go shopping for a bunch of little parts and things. The sun's going down, so I think I'm gonna get back. I'm gonna jump on Craigslist, Facebook Market, whatever, eBay, see if we can get this thing back to its former glory. And I have a few ideas as to how to increase the power on this thing. Maybe I'll try and boost this motor with a pair of twin turbos, or maybe even an engine swap. This is a pretty big engine base. We have a few options. I'm open to suggestions, so if you have any advice or any opinions, be sure to drop them in a comment below.